Hello everybody, this is Dago Seta, pretty snazzy walkthroughs. Majora's Mask, 3 hearts. And now we're going to get started on the Great Bay Temple. And every time you start this temple, take note of over here there's always going to be a fairy, so that's a good place to stock up on a fairy if you need one, which you probably will because the boss in this place is pretty hard. Alright, so for starters, we're going to light these 4 torches. They don't really help you beat the temple, but you have to light them to get the fairy. And I don't know, my aim was a little off when I was doing this. Whatever. That was really off. Yeah, so once I get my lazy butt done with these stupid torches, and also they are the type of torches that unlight if you wait too long, and it makes a chest appear and gets you the first out of the 15 stray fairies. Ooh. Also, take note that if you want to go back from here, you could talk to that turtle guy and he'll just take you back. This is probably the most out of the way temple in regards to physical location. But traveling here is pretty easy because all you have to do is just warp with you play the new wave boss there. That's all you have to do together. Alright, so make sure you kill that skull tool up there because it'll get you another stray fairy. And right now I'm just going to kind of kill these guys now because they're going to be in my way later. And they deal, I feel like 1 heart or half a heart. They do a considerable amount of damage. So just put on that great fairy mask. And also under this there is another fairy which I couldn't quite get to from my current location. So to get the fairy from the Skulltula, I'm pretty sure you actually need to use the fairy mask, otherwise you won't be able to get it. Alright, and that's 3 already. This temple, now I may have mentioned in the past how annoying and difficult it is. Well, it is one of the harder ones. It's just because it has like the whole central room thing that leads to other rooms, and the changing of the water currents. And some of the puzzles require a little bit more thinking than the other temples. It's just more because it's kind of confusing, and water temples are always my mortal enemy. Though, when recording this, I did much better than I thought I would. I figured it out pretty easily for the most part. But some of the fairies were a little obscure with their locations. I didn't think I'd find them there. Also note that when the Zora jumps off a cliff above water, he will do like a dive thing. And that has screwed me over a couple times. So please take note of that. Alright, so after climbing up or using that geyser to lift yourself, go on to the next room. Alright, and this is the sort of the central room where the water's moving and you kind of have to swim to get around, and it just kind of takes you to every other room by going under there. So go over here. The only reason we're going over here is because there's one of the stray fairies in here, and we're gonna get one of the slightly more difficult fairies to get. Alright, so down all the way in the middle of the bottom here, there's 2 ways to get this. One, the way I'm doing it is the easy way, which still, it's a relatively difficult shot to make. But shoot that pot and there's a fairy in there. But the other way you can get it is by swimming along the bottom as Zora or something, which is really hard to do considering that you have this constant current. So I just do it this way because it's much easier and it's a lot faster. Originally when I did this, I did it that way, and it took me at least 3 minutes to get it. Alright, so half of the temple pretty much is blocked off because you cannot get to it with this current. Now later we are going to change the current, but that's not going to be for another couple of videos. Alright, so here I'm kind of failing here with the Zora fins. So Zora, it's kind of like what happened in Ocarina of Time when you got the Master Sword and you were Adult Link. What happens was you were too tall to hit a lot of the pots. I don't know. Alright, so here, one of the ways you're supposed to do this is to wait till you get the item in this temple that'll help you progress across the other side here. But I just figured I'd get this fairy in this area right now, which is, it's in that pot, and there's a couple ways you can get it. One of the ways is kind of hard. You can be really good with timing your jump as a Zora. So use it like as you're lifting out of the water and try to get in there or up there. It's a little difficult, but I didn't really bother doing that because I didn't need to. Alright, watch out for those guys. They're not difficult at all. All they really do is grab you, toss you around, and deal no damage. They're more of like a major inconvenience. Alright, so killing these bio Deku Babas in here, you're gonna actually have to kill them because it's required to get the fairy in here. Yes, there is a fairy. Okay. These guys, they're not too difficult to deal with. The way it works is they're kind of chilling on their lily pads here, and if you stand on their lily pad to like grab you or something like that, and then after you can either destroy him directly, which usually doesn't work. It usually involves you end up knocking it down and then having to kill it again later. See, as with 2 hits of the arrows, all I did was knock him down. Even though I wasn't hitting his stem, I was hitting him directly, and ooh, quality there. Well, usually my videos don't do that too much, but it's enough that it kind of bothers me. If I ever find a way to fix that, I'd be glad to do so. Alright, so the only way to get up there now is to use the hook shot. And now we're already at 7. Yeah, a lot of the fairies are kind of... The first bunch of fairies are pretty easy to get, and the other ones are just kind of... Some of them are really out of the way, which you'll see in later videos. Okay. This room, there's a couple of Bio Deku Babas, the Bombchu over there. Make sure you actually kill the Bombchu before you go over there, or he's going to probably blow you up on his way down. Alright, and then there's another fairy down here that's kind of hard to get. Also note that I'm pretty sure it's impossible to shoot the Dexy hands, that's what they're called, with. And also for some reason, because I'm shooting, I don't know why, but when I shoot at the pot, it doesn't connect for some reason. I never really understood why. Maybe it's something to do with the current, but whatever. Yeah, I've always found that the best way to get this fairy is just use the Zora fins. The other way, which is pretty hard to do, involves swimming through that current and making sure you hit that pot, which I'm almost never able to do that. Alright, so here I'm trying to shoot these guys, but it's doing absolutely nothing. And as I said, you can't really shoot the Dexy hands or hurt them in any other way except with the Zora fins, which that's not much of a problem. There. Yep, there we go. That's 8 already. And yes, we noticed that the title of this is part 1 of 5. This is a pretty long temple, actually. It's a little bit more straightforward than I remembered it to be, but it's still quite difficult. Alright, so now we have the compass, which, as you may know, the only way it really benefits is maybe... I can't really think of major benefits of the compass other than telling you where you are in the room and stuff like that. I mean, I usually don't use the map and the compass too much. I mean, the one good thing it can be used for is when you're fighting Wizrobe, it'll tell you where he is when he creates the clone and stuff. But then it's not really that hard to figure it out in the first place. Okay, let's kill the Dexy hand and grab this chest here. And this chest is important because it has a key in it. Right here I'm just trying to stock up with some magic because I'm kind of low. Alright. Open sesame seed. And I've noticed that keys, they always seem to be in the medium-sized fancy chest. So, there's like 3 chest sizes in this game. The large ones always have like either maps or... See, a large chest would have either a map, heart piece, or important item like the bow or an arrow or something like that. Alright, whatever. The small ones usually end up having fairies, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have rupees. Alright, whatever. Alright, so in this room, it's not too much going on. We're going to kind of do the important stuff in this room later. But for now, it was a little hard to figure out for me at first. But what you have to do is there's the red pipe on the side here. You have to kind of walk on it. For some reason, I didn't think you could at first, and I got really confused in my first run of this. But after that, I figured it out. Okay. Watch out for this Bombchu there, because he can kind of knock you into the water and make you have to do a little bit more walking. Usually I figured the fastest way to kill these guys always ends up being an arrow, though. Yeah. Okay. So, do some magic. walk in here. Tightrope, sort of. Not really at all. Pear! Yes, my brother has a pear. Alright, so go in here and make sure you stock up and get your arrows and magic to full. Well, not necessarily your magic, but at least get your arrows to full for this, for what the upcoming. So I'm not gonna progress until onward. Until onward? That's a terribly structured sentence. I'm not gonna progress until I get all the arrows I want. But these guys, the chews, they repeatedly spawn, so you can just kind of utilize them to get what you want. Alright, next video, we'll fight the sub-boss. See you next time.